I wrote my new book, The Art of Caring Leadership, to be both a wake-up call and an invitation for leaders who want to uplift their teams and organizations by putting their people first. Most of us think we care, but caring leadership is about doing, taking action in a way that makes a tangible difference to our teams and our workplaces. Now, more than ever, at any time in history, we need to know what leading with heart actually means for us, for our workplaces, and for the world. The Art of Caring Leadership is a practical guide that will help you decipher what caring leadership means in practice through a framework that uncovers the steps you can take every single day. If your people know you care, not just about what they do, but who they are and can become, they will move mountains. To order your copy of the book, visit theartofcaringleadership.com. Hello there, everybody. It's Heather with the Leadership of the Heart podcast, and today I'm really super excited. I have Stace Williams on the podcast, and man, it's been at least a few years that we've been really close on LinkedIn. When I've done a post, she's posts, and she comments. When I see her posts, I comment. And we just really have been supporting each other a lot. And I love the way she showed up in the world, getting to know her, and even a little bit outside of that. And then in the last few months, obviously with the launch of the Art of Caring Leadership, I decided to launch that academy in the community. And I wanted to have some caring leadership coaches. And you've met a few of them already with Brooke and Brian and Gary. And so now I want you to meet Stace. And she has the reason why I brought her on, I felt like she had more of a worldly view, number one, lots of experience in coaching, but also this very close attention to detail, so that if I was ever going off track or I wasn't clear on anything I needed to do, she would be like, up. And then she would always kind of bring me back to center. And I know what I know best, and I know what I don't know. And so I knew I needed to have her with me. So thanks for coming aboard, Stace.
Heather, thanks for inviting me. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm just pleased as punch to be working with you and your team.
So tell everybody, the listeners now, as one of the caring leadership coaches, just a little bit about you, and then also, why you decided to become a caring leadership. Why did you say yes to me?
Well, I said yes to you because of who you are, right? You exude authenticity and positivity, and you know your stuff inside out. I respect that. I'm chuckling a little bit about love of detail. It's precision more than detail that I crave, because I'm an engineer. And you know this story, Heather, and those who've read my bio or seen my little intro video on the Caring Leadership community page, please excuse the duplication. But I'm a failed leader, folks. I'm a person who cares who was not a caring leader. When I got promoted, as some of you may remember, the Peter principle, that we rise to our level of incompetence in an organization. It happened to me early. I was 27. I got promoted to lead my software development team at the local utility company here in the Denver, Colorado metro area. And 6 months in, I had my first midterm review with my boss. He looked me straight in the eye and he said, Stace, I have bad news for you. All 3 of your team members want to quit because they hate working for you. And, I got to respect the guy. I went into freeze mode. Y'all know fight, flight, or freeze. I went into freeze mode, and I don't remember anything else about the conversation. But I just want to give a tip of the hat to that leader, who I won't name here because I don't have his permission. But he changed the course of my life, Heather. I looked in the mirror when I finally came to later that evening, and I was brushing my teeth, and I thought, I minored in math, and it occurs to me, I am looking at the common denominator. If it's all 3 of those folks, the issue must be with me. And I couldn't hide, I couldn't rationalize, and I set out to learn about leadership. And there are 2 really important lessons I learned. 1, all of us who want to be better, more caring leaders can do it if we want to. And 2, I love helping other people learn and grow. I discovered my mission in life to grow and to give, and it actually set me on a trajectory to change my career. So again, thank you so much to that courageous supervisor who gave me that point blank feedback for having such a positive impact on my life. As a direct result of that, I've had the pleasure of doing 3 decades of work that I am absolutely in love with.
Oh, I know what I want to know. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Gave me a little chills towards the end too.
Oh,
I am curious. I want to go deeper because this is the, I don't know what this is in me, but I like to go deeper.
yeah.
So when we think about, what was showing up in you that made, when he reported things to you, I'm sure you asked why, what was I doing? What did he report to you?
Well, because I was so frozen emotionally, Heather, I don't remember the conversation. I will tell you what emerged. The short answer is arrogance. I was lacking in humility, and I suffered from I got promoted because I did it well. Therefore, everyone has to do it my way. And what a terrible message to send a talented team. I had three very different people working on my team as my colleagues. I learned as much from them, perhaps more than they ever learned from me. But I was so intent on people doing things my way that I spent almost all of my time finding fault. Hey, Joe, there's a comment missing for this part of your code, or Kayla, can we beef up the documentation here? Instead of recognizing that these folks did a lot of things well. And I think taking a step back, working on beginning to develop some emotional intelligence, and then trusting my team is what turned the situation around. The punchline here, Heather, nobody quit. My heart goes out to those three individuals for sticking it out with me and giving me a chance. I will tell you that I even got invited to a party at one of my former team members after I left the department and went to work in the human resources and training group at the utility company. So
wow, that says a lot. Yeah. So that your ability, I talk about that right in that book. I talk about this idea, self-awareness, this awareness that you're leaving a gap or a hole for those who leave, this desire to do something about it, which you had, right? So you didn't have an awareness to start, but then you develop an awareness when you got kind of kicked in the chest, basically, by that manager who had to tell you the truth. And it was a good thing, it was a gift. And then this whole idea of stamina, or the ability to see that change through long-term. And then you stuck with it. And then now you have these people who stuck with you. Right. What a novel concept.
If I had the art of caring leadership, if you had written this book and it had come into my hands, it could have made such a huge difference. Fortunately, I was able to find my way to a lot of the 9 practices that you articulate in that beautiful palette of caring leadership. And I think for me, one that really helped a lot was making them feel important, giving those folks a chance to contribute. When I coach leaders, I often find that leaders at all levels, whether they're brand new, emerging leaders, Heather, or whether they're leaders of leaders with years of experience, they often struggle to delegate. And one reason is that they don't want to overwhelm people, but inadvertently, they're missing out on a huge opportunity for folks to shine and for folks to feel important. And I think that's a lesson that I learned the hard way, but it's something that I see other leaders readily gravitating to and then enjoying the benefits for them, for the individuals they lead, and for their organizations and customers of being better at making those people feel important and helping them shine.
It's just interesting, as someone who obviously writes on this, speak on this, right? And then I hear people, the stories themselves always are the things that I just love the story. As I sit with you all, anybody that I interview on the other side, I just hearing the stories are the things that inspire. And I feel like the stories are the things that illustrate. So they inspire and they illustrate. They illustrate the behavior, good or bad, right? And in your case, you're saying, here's where I was at. And I wasn't giving recognition and appreciation where it was due. And I was finding fault. And, I've already said this before. People know this on the show. My biggest downfall of the 9 behaviors of caring leadership is empowerment. It's not that I don't empower. I empower a lot. But when I get stressed or my timelines are narrow, I immediately jump into micromanager role. I know I do. And as I feel so this is the emotional intelligence part of it. As I feel it happening, so it starts to kind of boil up in me. And then I feel myself going, okay, Monica, Ashley, and I just start to do that. I'm just directing a show that's just about to go on stage, but it's not really about to go on stage, but I feel like I'm, And so I go into that role and I have to kind of back myself up and go, okay, can they breathe? Can they breathe?
Right.
Can they breathe? Because if I'm not breathing, because I'm just then they're not breathing because they're feeling that. And so it's my responsibility as a leader to allow them that room to breathe, to allow them that room to grow, that room to shine, the room to, right? And it's
yeah.
But there's so much we don't do. I'm not perfect. I write on this and speak on this, and I have so much work to do still.
Well, it's one of the reasons it's been so easy to connect with you. What your listeners may not know is you and I actually don't live that far apart from each other. We're in the same metropolitan area. We have yet to meet. I know that first hug is just going to be so meaningful. But something that really resonates with me, Heather, is the way you're describing your somatic experience. When you are stressed, you recognize what happens to your breathing. That's true for a lot of us. We shorten the breath. It becomes shallow up here in the top part of the chest instead of down here in the belly. And when we can tune into those somatic signals, our body is always in the present. It always knows what's happening with us. And the more aware we become of what's going on in our body, the easier it is to make an emotionally intelligent, caring response and really let that caring leader emerge in our behavior.
That's a very good point you bring up. A really good point. Like, I'm not going to say nearly as beautiful as you do. Oh my gosh. Like, this is why I have you on my team. That's why I say, like, a team is about you bringing people around you who are not you, who bring those gifts that are forward. And so there you go. I mean, nomadic, who would have even thought to say that? I don't even say, I say, I'm coaching someone and I say, I need you to be paying attention to your breaths. I need you to be paying attention to how are your palms sweaty? Like, it's a very, and that's how I want you to be thinking about it. And it's so true that we have in all these cases, it's like, if we can just, it's almost like if you think of that tape, when you go to the movie theater and you think of, they probably don't do that anymore, but way long ago, you'd see the movies where they have the big tape reel or whatever, and they fall apart sometimes. Oh no, the movie can't play. And I keep thinking about, okay, so if we're going forward in this, now I get to rewind that reel and kind of start it over. And if I'm rewinding, I'm saying to myself, okay, what is it? How am I impacting the person right in front of me? When I'm this way, how does someone perceive me? How are they feeling? Then how am I feeling? It's like I'm considering all of that. Now I can go, okay, I bet you I was coming off this way. I was super intense. I bet you I was just like, so now either I have some apologizing to do. So that, by the way, that's happened to me before multiple times. So I have some apologizing to do, or my apology will come in just my change of action. So how I'm showing up. And so then it's like, okay, so now I go forward and it's like, here's you got that set. You got it set. Great. Awesome. You got it set. And it's up for them to shine or not. I mean, at that point, and then it's like, because you've let them kind of go. And then of course, I always say, like, you have to provide some guidance. And so you have to go behind the scenes and then come forward to make sure you're present, but then like continue to be behind the scenes until they need you again. So having that proactive presence there, but not being hawking. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And I do that. I do that at home a lot. 4 kids. I think about my son. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, did you call the person? Did you email the person? And it's like twice in a day. And he's like, Mom, I did. And yes, I did. And it's like, okay. And so again, it's just, it's like I said, we all have those shortcomings, and that's mine.
Yeah, you just did 2 things that I think are so valuable for all caring leaders. And you're so smooth and gifted with these, you may not even realize, but your use of metaphor, Heather, the film, the reels of the film, you painted a really vivid picture with your words, and imagine that film splitting apart and what that feels like. And one way caring leaders connect with those they lead is they're attuned to those people. They listen actively, and they start to recognize the types of metaphors and imagery that resonate with each individual. And then they adapt their style while still remaining completely authentic. And the second thing you did is something you alluded to a few moments ago. You told another story. And you're so right. Our pal Sarah Elkins will totally resonate with this, because, of course, she knows a lot about telling a good story and how our stories don't define us, but the way we tell them does. And stories are a great way to connect with people. Stories about ourselves reveal our allowable weaknesses, our vulnerability. That humanizes us to the people we work with and that we're privileged to lead. And it creates the space that says, hey, I ain't perfect. And guess what? You don't have to be either. Together, we're going to make good things happen. And if we make a mistake along the way, we haven't failed. We've just taken, instead of a fail, we've taken a first attempt in learning. So there's that positive outlook, that positive mindset. And I didn't make up that acronym. Somebody shared it with me a few years ago. One of the leaders.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, the self-deprecating way about me, it's a natural thing for me. I like naturally will do it. It is because for me, my North Star is connection. So like I want people to know I'm with them. That's why I do the work I do. If I couldn't do the work I do if they didn't know I was with them. So I developed it. I think it developed early on as a natural kind of protective measure for me as a child, the adversity. But in the end, it just became the thing I led with. And so I'm always going like, what are the ways that I can let the person know I'm human? What are the ways to let them know that I don't think I'm above them, because I can't meet them where they're at if I'm way above them. I just can't. So I want to always go to that level. So it's when you bring that stuff up, I think it's brilliant. Oh, I'm sure you all can hear how amazing Stace is. Why aren't you, all of you, come right this minute to the caringleadership.co committee, the caringleadership.co website, caringleadership.co. And we do have the 8 caring leadership coaches. I am there. We are all we have a community manager, Ashley, who's there. So we're kind of trying to actively engage. We're going to start doing events now because we have more people there. I think we have 70 people or something inside there. So we want to start doing more events where we bring, have some of the coaches either do trades classes or we do some masterminds. And so we're about right there to start some of those activities.
Want to inspire loyalty with your leadership? Take the Caring Leadership Self-Assessment today and discover what actions you can take personally to uplift your team and your organization. Created in conjunction with my best-selling book, The Art of Caring Leadership, the Caring Leadership Self-Assessment is designed to help you identify key areas for growth so that you can become known as a leader with heart. Once you complete the self-assessment, you'll instantly receive a free report highlighting areas in which you can improve. You'll also have the opportunity to upgrade to a more detailed report providing you with additional insights, as well as recommended next steps for your journey as a caring leader. Simply visit caringleadership.co and click Self-Assessment to take the Caring Leadership Self-Assessment today.
If you haven't already, go buy The Art of Caring Leadership. That's kind of critical because this whole podcast is founded on, that book is founded on podcasts. All the interviews, all the conversations end up boiling up in that book, at least for that first 80 or so talk conversations I had with people. But just those concepts, and they recur over and over again, don't they? Yeah. And as leaders, we get the gift of repetition. It's a gift. Because then we're reminded, it's a repetition from the topics, but not the stories. So we just keep hearing different stories and different angles, and it speaks to us in different ways. So I think that's the beauty of this podcast. And Stace, I'm just so thrilled to have you in this new community as well.
Thanks for allowing me to be part of the community, Heather. I appreciate and heartily accept the invitation. And I'll echo what you said. Folks, join the community. You will meet there some of the leaders that Heather interviewed on her podcast and profiled in the book, as well as other aspiring caring leaders like you and me. We've got the coaches on there. And really, I think part of your vision, Heather, is that community become one where we can all share the lessons we've learned, the lessons we're learning, and get support, empathy, and ideas from one another. It's really a peer-to-peer kind of crowdsourced learning, if you want to think about it that way, crowdsourced learning and growth. And everybody is welcome, no matter your level, no matter your experience. You bring something to the table, whoever you are, come join us.
Could I said any better? Thank you so much, Stace. And thank you for those listening right now. Hopefully you've taken a lot away, and just be well.